found fo- found footage of a twisted experiment gone wrong. Huh, what type of experiment was this? Yo, is that a person like under the bed, man, walking like those in those ghost movies? Man, yo.
And now scientists have made some incredible new discoveries about the planet Uranus. They found out exactly how the planet's magnetic field works, revealing that Uranus opens and closes
This is how stupid they think we
to
are.
let out solar wind. And astronomers say the process does occur every day. The data was recorded in 1986 by the Voyager 2 spacecraft, but only recently analysed.
The world has gone mad, but especially the Anglo-Saxon world, I'm afraid. I don't know whether there is any sense at all in our little English-speaking corner of the world. I'm, of course, speaking of the United States, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. There's something profoundly disheartening about the politics of our countries right now. The deep madness, I'm afraid, is British imperial thinking taken over by the United States. My country, the US, is unrecognizable now compared even to 20 or 30 years ago. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth, who runs the country. I do not believe it is the President of the United States right now.
What?
We are run by generals, by our security establishment. The public is privy to nothing. The lies that are told about foreign policy are daily and pervasive by a mainstream media that I can barely listen to or read anymore. The New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, and the main television outlets are 100% repeating government propaganda by the day, and it's almost impossible to break through. What is this about? Well, as you've heard, it's about a madness of the United States to keep U.S. hegemony, militarized, dominated by the thinking of generals who are mediocre intellects, personally greedy, and without any sense, because their only modus operandi is to make war.
English people.
And then cheerled by Britain, which is unfortunately in my adult life increasingly pathetic in being a cheerleader for the United States for this hegemony and for war. Whatever the US says, Britain will say it 10 times more enthusiastically. And it could not love more the war in Ukraine, which is the great second Crimean War for the British media and for the British political leadership. Now, how Australia and New Zealand fall for this idiocy is really a deep question for you, because people should know better, but I'm afraid that it is the Five Eyes and the security establishment that tell the politicians, to the extent that the politicians are involved in this, well, this is how we have to do it. This is our security state. And I don't think our politicians necessarily have much role in this. By the way, the public has no role at all in U.S. foreign policy, at all. We have no debate, no discussion, no deliberation. No debates over voting the 113 billion, but in fact much more money spent on the Ukraine war so far. There's not been an hour of organized debate, even in the Congress, on this, much less in the public. But my guess is that your security establishment is really the driver of this. And then they explained to the prime minister and to the others, this is the utmost national security. And this is what America has told us, and let me explain what we're seeing. And of course, you cannot divulge this to the broader public, but this is the essence of the struggle for survival in the world. Everything I see myself, I'm 43 years in this activity as an economic advisor all over the world, is nonsense.
Do you know I actually cut a globe in half because I could not believe my eyes? I got a huge question.
English
for you
people,
guys.
is your president
Now,
running the
Johnny,
country?
stupid moron, idiot, flat earther, right? Well, here's the question. I'm hoping you would answer it for me. Check it out. Do you see these longitude lines on this globe? Each one of these lines are longitude lines, right? Now here's my question. Do you see how spread apart they are? Now, how in the world, mathematically speaking, this is my Jinky flat earth map. Yes, this is a flat earth map. Not the whole thing, but you get the point. How can, and this outer circle here represents the ice wall. This is the ice wall of the flat earth map, this outer circle here. Now let me show you something. I want you to answer this question. Look at this. How the heck is the longitude lines on the flat earth ice wall identical to the globe equator? This circle here is 49,802 miles in circumference. This circle is only supposed to be 24,901 in circumference. Mathematically, the arc subtending the angle cannot work. It can't work. This arc? What? This circle is the equator. This circle is the circle claimed by the globe and the Gleason map as the equator. How can this arc length match this equator? It would be double. This would be double the size of 24,901. It would be this circle. This globe would be this circle, this big circle. Mathematically, I don't care who you are, I will prove you wrong. I will show you mathematically. So answer me that question, throw your best math at me, and give me your best shot. Love you all.
Oh. Where is that? Water that is approaching. It's like a dam that broke loose.
I'm tripping. You know, our entire history is a lie, and I mean our history as an American and European history. If you look back, you notice how every single person that made any great discovery is a white European or a white American, right? Did you know that there's these group of people that used to be called the Moors, right? And I say used to because from what I've seen so far, it seems like the Europeans have done their best to basically eradicate them from existence and history. So, right, get this. You know that black people, the Moors, were here in America before Europeans ever came over, and that's how they even knew to come over to America in the first place. You know that everything that European built in their society was basically taught and given to them by the Moorish people. They taught them astronomy, they taught them running water, they taught them how to build their buildings, sacred geometry, literally all of it. There's this event called the Reconquista, which basically was a series of battles between the Christian states and the Moors to basically eradicate them because they had most of the power in the 8th century in the Iberian Peninsula. And speaking of the Christian states, you know how Jesus, every picture that we see of him, he's white? He wasn't even white, so like that's kind of weird. Notice how always and throughout history, whoever wins, the victors write the history and they change the history? Huh. And you notice how we have a very long history of taking people that don't look like us and making them serve us? That seems a little weird. You know, on top of that, George Washington had said, we remove their turbans, we remove their sandals, and we apply heavy death penalties to anybody that basically teaches the children of the Moors about their history. In about 200 years, they won't remember who they were, they won't remember their inheritance, they won't remember their culture. And that the chopping of the cherry tree was actually that separation of cutting them off from their history and their inheritance and their culture. Like, What? Notice how everything is always designed to pit us against each other so that we never actually come together and unify and actually figure out what the truth is because we're always too busy fighting. I don't think any rational person can truly believe that everything that we've come to learn and know today was made, designed, or thought of by a European white person or an American white person. You're trying to tell me that we're responsible for everything and we never even got information, or like nobody else thought of these things beforehand, and you know, you're trying to say that people don't steal ideas and then make them their own so that they can take credit for it, so that they can go down in history instead of somebody else or some other group. Okay, but like, I'll be honest right now, I don't even know what the truth is anymore. I for sure definitely don't trust the American or European truth anymore.
I also don't trust Englishmen, but we have to work with them.
Check out the date, you guys.
Because we
This is
are
already
one.
pre-programmed. October 8, 2021. Blue Roofs. WW3 is coming. Get ready.
Yo, the blue roof stuff we just